Now it's time for On Point, where we speak to experts to delve deeper into the biggest news stories in the spotlight right now. Just when the world thought the Omicron wave was mostly behind us, we saw a new strain identified called the XE variant.
That's right. And how will this new variant change the world's push to win the fight against the pandemic? And how much further will this delay the goal of shifting into the post-pandemic era? Well, for more, we connect to Ben Cowling, Professor of Epidemiology at the University of Hong Kong. Thank you very much for joining with us today.
Good morning.
So first and foremost, what's the current situation like with this XE variant, and in which parts of the world are they seeing most of these subvariants pop up?
Well, many parts of the world have had epidemics of Omicron BA1 and more recently BA2. I think in Korea you've had BA2. Now the XE variant is a mixture actually of BA1 and BA2. Somehow the viruses have mutated together and there's a combination. It's been detected in the UK and a few other places, but the level is still very low right now. It's not clear whether this will be the next thing to be worried about or not. I suspect probably not, because so many places in the world have had BA1 and BA2 already. There's going to be a lot of immunity to XE as well.
And Professor Cowling, now, how much more transmissible is the XE variant, and what are the other concerns that come along with it?
Well, it's a little bit more transmissible. Usually when we hear about new subvariants like XE, it will be a little bit more transmissible because that's how it's come to our attention. But I don't think it's going to pose a major threat, even if it is slightly more transmissible, because the immunity is so high now against Omicron in Korea and in many other parts of the world.
You know, the good news is we are finding out after all these different variants popping up, whether it be the alphas, the deltas, and so forth, and then now a lot of these sub-variants popping up, we are finding better ways to kind of tackle these new variants coming up. But at the same time, you know, the big concern is how much this is going to further delay the fight to kind of phase into the post-pandemic era and when things can kind of go back to normal once again.
Well, I don't think XE will, but let's see. I remember when the Delta waves were coming to an end, we thought we could see an end to the pandemic, and then Omicron popped up, and we have to bring back some restrictions. Hopefully, there won't be a new variant anytime soon that leads to restrictions being brought back. And also, if you remember the situation in South Africa, where they had a very big wave of Omicron with almost no health impact because of the immunity they'd already had in the previous waves, I think much of the world will now be in the same situation going forward, where even if you do have another variant, a lot of infections, there won't be very many severe cases anymore. So in a way, it would become more like seasonal flu and something to not need so many measures and so much concern.
And also, Dr. Cowling, we're seeing more and more as more and more variants emerge. It seems that they're popping up much faster than we can really develop vaccines for them. And does that mean we're going to have to continue getting these extra jabs? Is that going to become the new normal?
Well, I just saw that you said that in Korea you're going to have the 4th doses for older people. I suspect we're not going to have jabs so frequently after that, maybe moving to once a year vaccinations rather than every 3 months or every 6 months. And hopefully in the future, we will have vaccines that are updated with the latest variants. But it's not easy to update vaccines in time to be ready to use for that variant. As we found out with flu over many years, we're always a little bit behind in terms of the virus that goes into the vaccine and the virus that's actually now circulating. But we'll do our best to keep up with the virus.
Well, just like you said, I mean, as long as we just see these, less symptoms coming out with these sub-variants, and we don't have to learn about, new Greek alphabets. I mean, I've never joined the fraternity during college, so I think hopefully the Greek alphabet ends with Omicron for me. Professor Cowling, as always, thank you very much for your insights, and we are looking forward to talking to you again.
Thank you.